You know what, Colby?
What's that, Barry?
How about I do you a favor and just get the fuck out of here? It's hard, dude.
Not bad.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. Welcome all to the third movie of Asteroid Month.
Right.
And
I guess we're like space projectile month because our first month was an asteroid. Our second month, or our first week was asteroid. Second week was comet. Third week, meteor.
It's all space debris.
Right, space debris month.
That's what it's going to be. And if you guys don't know where that quote is from, how about we hit you up with the first segment where I do a little ditty for you.
Oh, yeah.
Oops. So, little old witch casting a spell. Is she the reason a meteor fell? As it disappears in the middle of the night, will the family be all right? Slight changes happens in the next few days, and everyone starts to change. Things start to get slightly strange because this is the color out of space. Damn, that sounded better in my head. Yeah, we're talking about the 2019 H.P. Lovecraftian movie, Color Out of Space.
Color out of space. I kept calling it color of space.
Right, they sneak in the...
Right.
Or out of,
which makes it, yes.
Which makes it, yeah, much more difficult to do. Apparently, I didn't know this. Oh, well, I'm sure if you guys listen to us long enough, we do love like H.P. Lovecraftian type of media.
Oh yeah.
But let's separate the artist from the art, because recently I learned that he was a super racist. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, I didn't know that he had a black cat that he called the N-word.
Oh,
with the hard R.
Right.
Well, I don't think the way that I think it was only the hard R during the time. Unfortunately, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't. I guess I should have seen it in his media. Like, apparently, like the merfolk that he has in his like stories are to represent other races. And I was like, oh, fucking asshole.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not put that together,
Right,
and I didn't.
Never meet your heroes, people.
Right.
But yeah, so color of Out of Space is H.P. Lovecraftian love story, short story.
A love story.
I mean, I guess it is a love story.
I guess there's a 7 minutes of romance in it.
But funny enough, I think the year prior to that, Annihilation came out, which also adapted the same story.
I didn't realize.
Wasn't it like you remember? Have you watched the movie with Natalie Portman?
I thought I did.
Yeah, so it's like in that movie, Natalie Portman, she gets a group of women, like a group of researchers together. One of them, I think, is a soldier, obviously, because they're entering this new territory. But I think it like encapsulates some part of Florida.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that one had a much bigger budget.
Yes.
But but
it didn't have Nick Cage.
That's where all the budget for this movie went.
We put Natalie Portman and Nick Cage in a movie together. I feel like
Leon too.
I feel like we're going like Oscar contender.
Sorry, we're getting a little off track. But wouldn't you love to see a continuation of like The Professional, except it's Natalie Portman? That's the assassin now.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yes, that was the first. Obviously, like that was her first like.
Major role.
I saw that and I was like, this little girl, I'm gonna follow her forever because she just was so good in this. I have to.
Yeah, she was phenomenal as like a first like major picture role.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, she's a star.
Yep.
She's so cool. But yeah, let's start with this movie, Color Out of Space. It's just really
right. It's just awkward.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
It does not.
Yeah, I really forgot how this. Oh yeah, we do start this movie meeting Lavinia, not the Magic the Gathering character, but the H.P. Lovecraftian character. Apparently, that's what I heard. I was watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos on this, getting prepared for this situation. But yeah, she's trying to cast a spell. Apparently, she is a Wiccan of some sorts, but really, she's trying to cast a spell to get the fuck out of Arkham.
Right. She's like twofold. Fight her mom's cancer.
Oh yeah,
get her out of Arkham.
Not the DC
Podunk nowhere. Yeah.
Which is kind of rough because, like, as you see this movie progresses, you probably can put together that they probably lived in the like a metropolitan area, right. Probably New York, just because of the mother's profession.
Yep.
But she runs into, I believe his name is Warden. Or no, that's Ward is Nicolas Cage. Marcus, I think, is his name.
Oh yeah.
And he is a environmental surveyor. We knew one of those.
Yep.
Brandon, what's up?
And he's hired by the city to test the
water.
The water because they're trying to make learn a little later. The governor's trying to make like a major water infrastructure there so that they can become more than a podunk nowhere.
Yeah. I don't want that.
They want to be the big water hub for the city or for the state.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you know, he who controls the water controls the state.
Right. We learned that from Tank Girl.
No, is that what that was from?
The whole movie's about
water,
fight for water, and Malcolm McDowell is the controller of water and power, and so he owns like basically the world.
You know, for the longest time, I thought Tank Girl was Gwen Stefani from No Doubt. Very same feeling.
I could see that.
Pretty ska back in the day. No, and so we get introduced. We go back home. Lavinia goes back home. Nicolas Cage, Ward is like, where were you? Your mother was worried about you. Come on.
Oh, that was much better than the first one.
Because then that was like Nicolas Cage calm.
Yes.
When he switches to his different personality, it's actually what I heard. The director asked Nicolas Cage to emulate his vampire kiss, Nicolas Cage, for when he's doing his dual personality, when he gets infected by the color. That sounds wrong by this space object.
Right. Yep.
But no, like it, you know, they what's it called? The mother comes down and she's like, "Oh, where's your brother?" She's like, "He's probably smoking pot." It's like, you didn't stop him from smoking pot. It is the gateway drug. You can tell from this situation that Nicolas Cage and his wife is a little bit older. Like, then, you know, so they're still kind of stuck in the old marijuana bad. Which, unfortunately, for someone who is fighting cancer, marijuana good.
Right. Help you with a lot of the
remission.
Discomfort.
Yeah. And apparently, I didn't really look into it, but my friend had told me that marijuana helps shrink cancer cells. I don't know. That's what I was told.
There's a lot of marijuana advocates who say a lot of things that are not necessarily true. They base huge generalizations on very small.
Every little bit helps.
Evidence, yeah, but yes, certainly people who are like sick with and going through chemotherapy. Yeah. It's a very much a treatment for the nausea, at least for the nausea and
the appetite.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. Right, and so she, you know, we see they go, she goes into the barn, which you think there's going to be like horses and cows. No, there's alpacas, because what else would Nicolas Cage's character be collecting but alpacas?
Right, because at first someone was like, whoa, they're raising llamas, and it's more than llamas, it's alpacas.
Wait, are llamas not just like female alpacas? Like, you know, mice, mouse, rats.
It's they're similar.
Or like a part of the same family.
Yeah.
Like a dog and a wolf.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, this is not a zoology class. We don't have our surveyor Brandon to tell us.
Yeah, so it's the difference between it's like a pigeon and a dove. One is just like really pretty, and the other one's like a flying rat. But yet so similar.
One just grew up in the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and so, you know, we get early on in this movie, we kind of get the dynamics of the family. We have these two siblings, the older ones, Lavinia and the pothead.
Right.
But they also have a very much younger brother. I think his name is Jake.
Yep.
I think he's the kid from the house on Haunted Hill.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's very much younger. He was probably like a oopsie baby.
His name
Jack.
Because she keeps calling him Jack, and then every time she said it, it made me think of
Tekken.
Well, I was gonna say Invincible,
Oh.
or the Invincibles. What?
Yeah, the Incredibles.
Incredibles.
Yeah. And and so like you could tell this family's kind of like in a weird situation. Probably they had moved to this to Nicolas Cage's like childhood home because they wanted his wife to recover and kind of wind down.
Right, yeah, because he kind of makes the comment. He's like, whoever thought that I was younger that I would be living on my dad's old farm.
Yeah, and then we do get like small little trickles of his past where his dad was a very abusive father.
Yeah.
Told him that, you know, he was like, yeah, you're not worth anything. It's just a rough thing to grow up to. But like, you know, he even tries to cook them food. Obviously the brother, he's like, it's not bad. And it's like, yeah, that's because you're high.
It's like Southern bumpkin trying to cook fancy French food.
Yeah. It's
Like
it's before pig.
duck and hot dogs. You know what?
It's before pig. Oh, Benny, that's his name. But you know, Lavinia's like, I'd rather much have McDonald's. You can take the girl out of the city.
Right. Hey, if he's high, he probably also would rather have McDonald's.
Nah, he's digging in though. You know, when you're high, you're just like, whatever. Right? Let me just shovel this food into my.
It's true. Yeah.
So the family's kind of like in this weird middle ground. You know, one has no direction. Benny's like so aloof with everything.
Right.
Lavinia's trying to, you know, be a Wiccan, be more like a hippie, and she wants to get out. You know, like I feel like this is probably the perfect place for you to be like in tune with nature. You're surrounded by it.
Right, but yeah, she's definitely more city girl.
Which is a shame because all those buildings are going to block your chakras. I don't know. But yeah, later that night though, they hear a loud bang.
Yep.
Outside, and there's this glowing rock, which is very concerning.
Yeah.
Well, actually, before that, they do go to Ezra's house, which is
right, because it's kind of like the water wreck guy comes through, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm letting you know we're testing the water. This is what the plan is. Does anybody else live out here?" And they're like, "Hey, we have Ezra, and he lives out kind of on the edge of the property. He's just a squatter. He's really strange. He might not talk to you, but you know, Benny will show you the way out to his little hut."
It's just like sad though, you know. It's just I feel like this is when Cheech passes away before Tommy. But he's pretty cool. But you know, he's feeling something, you know.
Yeah.
And he does give Marcus some tea, and he's like, "Oh, you should probably not drink that. It looks like there's something in it." You know, don't worry, man. But yeah,
and
later,
he's like, "Do you mind if I take a sample of your water back to my truck and test it?"
Bro, what does he say? I forgot. He's like, "Sure, man." I love that Tommy Chong's like voice from Cheech and Chong has like kind of carried over as the stereotypical stoner voice.
Oh, right, yeah, and he sounds. It's probably just his acting voice, but man, everything he does, he sounds the same. It's, always.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, later that night, this meteorite does crash onto their property, and it is glowing magenta.
Yes.
I think the cops come out, and they're like, "What the hell?"
So the cops and the mayor, and she's all like, "What is all this hullabaloo?" Kind of like,
Hullabaloo.
What are you trying to say? It's going on in my district,
Right? Jesus, politicians, right?
And then when she sees it, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to send a news crew out here."
Yeah. And then she, like, as she leaves, she's like, "See, I told you, Ward, you should have just sold me this property a long time ago."
Right.
And I was like, if that was me, I'd be holding out for top dollar.
Top.
But as the night progresses, everyone goes into their rooms. Lavinia is studying the Necronomicon. Benny is drawing. Jack is doing what a 6-year-old would be doing. And Nicolas Cage is like, "Ooh, yeah, let's how about we do something?"
Right, and it's a little awkward because she's all like, apparently they don't really say, but apparently she had breast cancer and had a
Mastectomy.
mastectomy. And she's like, "How can you even find me attractive anymore?" And he's all like, "Don't worry about it, honey. You know I'm a leg man."
I don't know. For some reason, like the worst part of my head came out. He's like, "Well, if there's a hole that needs to be filled, I'm your man." It's like, Jesus, what's wrong with me? Oh, but they do. That's where they get interrupted by the meteorite crashing. But the morning after, meteorite's gone.
Right.
And the news crew is there, and they're painting.
Well, no, so that night there's the weather gets really bad, and lightning strikes the meteor.
Oh yeah, it's like conducting all this lightning.
Yeah.
But
then the next morning.
Then the next morning
They get
comes.
up, meteor's gone.
News crew's there.
News crew's there.
And they paint Nicolas Cage in probably one of the worst lights you could be painted in.
Right, but it's totally like, it is weirdly the most realistic. Like when news crew pops up and interviews you, and then you watch that interview later, you're all like, "Oh my God, did somebody not tell me to comb my hair before they started filming me?"
But like, what was worse is that since the meteor disappeared, now the news crew's like, "Oh, it's just another hoax. Look how crazy he looks," and he's like saying things it seems almost out of character, but very slightly.
Right.
It just makes him out of character enough to make him sound crazy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then they're like, the key eyewitness for the UFO, and he's like, "I never called it a UFO.
I just said it fell out his face."
Yeah, Jack, the little kid called it a UFO.
Yeah. Damn kids. But it's funny, right? Because like, as I go through like this, this 70% of this other portion, it's really just it's like a slow descent into madness, right?
Right.
So like, I'm not gonna be able to do this like scene by scene. I'm just gonna go through the progression of the invasion.
Yeah. So it kind of starts the mom's cutting carrots.
Oh,
and then she just keeps on cutting once she gets past the carrot up her finger. And so then Nicolas Cage rushes her to the hospital, which is like
an hour away,
like 2 hours away.
Why would you live
small,
somewhere?
and then like something like that, I'm probably sure they have to go to the next big town, which is probably 4 hours away.
Yeah, it's I believe they're in a fictional city in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Like Arkham, New Hampshire, which is like, I was like, that's a weird name to call it, but maybe that's what it was called in the books, right?
Right. Oh, maybe Arkham has a more significant. We just that's the insane asylum in Gotham.
Yeah, we don't read books, dude.
But maybe that name has a more significant meaning
in the Lovecraftian universe, probably.
right? And that's probably why they pulled that into as the insane asylum. It would make sense. Now I gotta look it up afterwards.
Yeah, I think Lovecraft had a tendency, just like Stephen King, to base a lot of his stories in the East Coast. like New Hampshire type of, like anything near the coast, because where else is Cthulhu gonna come out of?
Right. But then that was a way to like get the parents
Out.
And then you could watch like the kids start to go crazy, and then the parents could come back, and then you could watch them
Go crazy. Oh, so it's like a nice little dividing the attention, right? Because at first it's Jack that's kind of acting out of character. He's outside, he's whistling to the well.
Right, because he keeps hearing like a whistle back.
Yeah, but is he saying that Benny is in the well?
No, not yet.
No, okay.
But he says there is a man in the well.
Yeah, and Lavinia is like, what is going on with you?
Right.
And she is sort of like probably the character that has the most urgency in this whole situation, because the animals start to act a little weird too, like their dog is like a wolf growling at the well.
Right. The Ezra's cat disappears, and and he's like, well, I'll look for your cat, while I'm out doing my surveying, and Ezra's like, well, if you see him, you're probably not going to recognize him, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
The hell?
Yeah, Ezra in this whole movie is doing like, he progressively does more weird stuff. He's like, do you hear it, man?
Right.
And he's like recording on a cassette player. He's like, it's there, and he plays it back, and it's just empty. But the parents do come back later in the night or something like that, or like maybe
it's
the
like
morning.
the next day, because it's she actually does the surgery and gets the tip of her finger reattached.
Reattached. That's crazy. We advanced so far now. But like during that whole period of time where they're off, like they're gone, Lavinia's trying to call her dad. She's like, hey, there's like weird stuff happening here, but there's the interference with the electronics, and they just can't get a hold of each other. Everything's weird. It's not really happening. And so on their drive back, though, they do come across probably the only... Well, there's a lot of CG in this, but like probably the worst CG in the whole movie is Ezra's cat, G-Spot. And it's probably like the worst part of it, like the CG, but everything else in this movie is pretty practical, which is awesome.
Right.
But they get back, and a lot of them, like the next day, they're kind of losing time. Lavinia is trying to wash the knife that her mother had used, and the color envelops her, and then she only snaps out of it when there's blood dripping on the floor, and then the sink is full.
Right.
But if you notice, the clock is like an hour or two ahead.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy. Benny
and Benny goes out, and he's like, because he was supposed to let the alpacas out.
Yeah, he's supposed to feed them,
and then put them back in the barn before it gets dark. And he was like, yeah, I took the alpacas out and I fed them, and then it just was all of a sudden dark, like so dark that I got lost and I couldn't figure out where I was at.
Yeah, and that's why I think that's what makes this movie kind of hard to talk about, because like time is so distorted in the farm.
Right.
That it's not even nighttime or daytime, or it's not even nighttime, but it's nighttime for them or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Which is crazy. And then like we also see the alpacas they have escaped their enclosure, and they're eating the food around the well.
Right. And you start to see more and more pink things
or magenta
things. There starts to be flowers around the well, these magenta flowers.
Oh, and the mantis that came out of the well.
Yep, there's a big praying mantis that's like magenta instead of green or brown.
Yeah.
Some of the trees where like the leaves would be brown are like magenta around the edges.
Yeah, it's like the color contrasting for this movie is pretty insane. I loved it just because of how well the magenta would pop out. Like when they would open like the barn doors, and everything is like brownish or whatever, but then outside is like magenta.
Right. Oh yeah, they did that lots of times where like they were in the house and like there'd be like little flashes of magenta through the blinds and stuff like that. It was filmed well.
Yeah, it was for the budget that they have. It was really well done. And sorry, a little side tangent, but I heard that the director wanted to really do this as a trilogy, and if like I think if there is a next movie slotted, it's supposed to be the Dunwich Horrors, which I don't know.
Okay.
But it's just another short story or book from Lovecraft. So, but yeah, and so the house kind of is in disarray, right? Benny goes to the barn with Jack. Mm-hmm. To because then they wanted to see what's going on with the alpacas. They're making all this noise. Like, what's going on? So they go out, and then we get very small clips of horror.
Yeah.
Extreme animal body horror, and they start to run because they see that this purple color or this magenta color is about to envelop them. And while that's happening, the mother comes down, sees that that's happening. She goes to get Jack, but then they get enveloped by the color.
Yeah, and then that color fuses them.
It is horrifying. If I saw that in real life, I'd be like, I'm gonna just have to put this down. This is terrifying to see.
Yeah.
But they do like Nicolas Cage brings them into the couch, and they don't know what to do, so they bring him up to her workspace. Well, I guess before that, sorry, it's really hard to talk about. Like earlier on the day, Nicolas Cage goes out to like collect crops. But they all taste like crap, and then the mother is like tripping out. She's like, "You got to fix the satellite internet." Which, if any of you guys have ever used satellite internet, it is poop. It is poop, and we get like probably one of the earlier signs of Nicolas Cage starting to become more like his father, which he had feared the most.
Right.
And he's like, "I do everything right, and it still tastes like crap." Dunk.
Yeah. They were big old juicy tomatoes too. Not that I would eat them, but
oh yeah, I forgot you don't like the afterbirth. What about sun-dried tomatoes?
No.
Wait, why?
No.
There's no afterbirth.
No, they taste horrible.
Oh my god, I love sun-dried tomatoes.
Yuck.
You and your chicken tender palate. Funny enough, I just had chicken tender. But yeah, later that night, the whole fusing thing happens. They bring her up to the thing. Everything is starting to become more unhinged. Like before that, Lavinia was carving like Celtic runes into her body.
Right, because she pulls out the Necronomicon and she uses it, and she basically just carves up her body to like
to cast some sort of spell.
And not seeing this before, I'm like, is she gonna call like a demon to fight the alien color?
Listen, if you buy your Necronomicon from a Barnes and Nobles, it's a very, very highly unlikely that you're not gonna summon anything.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
But I did have a glimmer of hope. Like, oh, is she? Because like as she's carving these runes into her body, it's dripping onto the pages of the book.
Right.
Which, if we know anything in Evil Dead, that would most certainly summon a demon.
Yes.
But it's because those pages are made from human skin, so
that's different than a pressed.
Yeah, than a paperback. Recycled paper. So what's it called? As they're talking about it, Nicolas Cage is like, he's getting agitated by the sounds of the alpacas, and so he goes over there with his shotgun, and we finally get a full eye view of these merged alpacas.
Yeah, and it is definitely something from the John Carpenter's thing.
Oh, right. It reminded me of anything that Junji Ito has ever done, where it's just like a mass of flesh all combined together.
Right, and it's practical, so it is fantastic.
It is terrifying.
Yeah.
And but what's it called? Nicolas Cage, he starts blasting away, and I was like, thank God, put those things out of their misery. But he does go upstairs, and he's like, tells the kids, like, go downstairs. I'm gonna handle this.
Yeah, I'm gonna handle Mom. And the daughter's like you handled the alpacas? She's like, just leave.
Yeah, there's no way you're undoing this, and it's just like, if any of the people I care about was in the same situation, I'm putting you out of your misery.
Right. Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage, he thinks about it, but then he looks at his wife and then he kisses her, and then and then the slime trails just off of him, which was cool though because even the slime trails were like it had like a magenta sheen to them.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so gross though.
Yeah, and then like Nicolas Cage is kind of an alcoholic, or
It's his father. Like his father's like his fears or something coming out.
yeah, but every time he goes to pour a drink, you could see that the ice has got like a little flecks of like the color in it because it's from the tainted water.
Yeah, yeah. So it is all bad all around, right? Benny and Lavinia are trying to leave, but when they get the horse, we see that the horse has been influenced by the color.
Yep.
And so he leaves. And then for some reason, Benny starts to go down the well because he hears Sam, the dog, down there.
Yeah, and Sam's his best friend.
Yeah. But then he gets swallowed up by the color. And now it's really only Lavinia and Ward left with the combined Jack mom upstairs. And Nicolas Cage is like, where are you going? You're not leaving here.
Right.
And he's like, why don't you spend some time with your mother?
And then locks her in the room.
And that thing definitely is very John Carpenter's thing.
Yeah.
It is.
It is much more spider-like than it was when they left the room.
And meanwhile, Marcus is now with the sheriff because one of the other farmers, he's like, Sheriff, come take a look at this. And it's like another mass of flesh of animals combined together. And they're like, oh my God, that looks like radiation poisoning.
Right. And then they're like, oh, was that a cat? And it's got the collar from...
Oh, yeah, from G-Spot?
From G-Spot. So he's like, oh my God, I know where this is from.
Oh, yeah, it is bad. So they start to make their way over there, and they're able to go inside the house. They free Lavinia from upstairs. Nicolas Cage ends up finally shooting his wife. He's like, that's not my wife.
Yeah.
My family's downstairs.
Yeah.
Because when they first enter the house, he's like, what are you talking about? My family's right here.
Right. They're here watching TV with me, and there's nobody in the room.
Yeah. And obviously, this whole time, Nicolas Cage is being influenced by the TV. Very, what's that movie called? Poltergeisty.
Right.
Right.
And that they do some interesting things with the TV too.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah. And so when Lavinia, I think she tries to Marcus picks up Lavinia and she tries to leave. Nicolas Cage almost shoots them, but then the sheriff shoots Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And Lavinia, I think she run off, or no, she holds her dad because she's like, I can't leave here now.
Right.
My family's
like,
here.
we gotta go, and she's like, yeah, nope. This is my home. This is where I've got to stay. Basically,
Very
just that
180.
like acceptance of like the rest of my family died here. This is where I gotta.
I don't know, or it could be the color influence.
I'm sure there's also some color influence.
Right. But they go to check on Ezra, and he is completely gone as well. He's already in the late stages of influence.
Right. But he had recorded
everything,
his findings and stuff, and so like there's like the tape recorder playing in the background, and you kind of get to hear a little bit of
I took that as like because they couldn't hear it before, but now that the color's influence is so high that they could finally hear the noises. But I guess you're right. You're probably right more. I don't know. But as they try to leave, the sheriff gets caught by one of the vines from the color.
Right. Basically gets eaten by a tree.
Very Evil Dead again.
Yep.
Hey, at least it didn't, enter him.
Yes.
As far as we know. It probably did.
It went in through his mouth. It gets stabbed through his mouth.
That's the worst. Just like an Evil Dead reboot.
Yeah.
But Marcus tries to make his way back over there, try to at least save one person before everything turns around. But Lavinia, she shows him the color.
Yeah.
Did you want to say something about that?
No.
Oh, okay.
So Right, because she shows him, and then all of a sudden, Nicolas Cage isn't quite dead and starts.
Yeah, and he starts chasing after Marcus, and he is just trying to escape. He's able to get into the cellar, but the color is I guess maybe the time is sped up so fast that it engulfs everything within, like, I don't know, like a 5-mile radius.
Right.
But Marcus is able to survive in the cellar, and as we see him crawl out, everything is, I guess, ash, or has deteriorated, or I don't know, ran its course.
It, like, I felt like the alien had stolen the color. Like, that was really what it was like.
Trying to consume.
Yeah. So there's like this 5-mile radius. And like it said, it is all kind of covered in ash.
Yeah.
But it's like the next 3 minutes is like filmed basically in black and white. Like there's no color to anything.
Yeah. And then we find out that the person that's been narrating this movie is Marcus, as he's standing over the reservoir, and he says, I hope that the color is buried deep inside, that it won't resurface, but I won't ever drink this water. And it doesn't matter, Marcus. Water doesn't work that way. It's going to get into the sky and then rain down.
Yeah. Oh,
it's influence, but hopefully it gets diluted.
But then it was interesting because he's doing that final narration, looking over the water, and as they kind of pull back from him, there's a sunset, and the sunset is all like colorful, and it's like,
is it in the sky?
Has it already taken over?
Right, because we do
like
see that mantis.
The world like taken over already, and we just don't even know it.
Right, you know, and then that mantis flies over.
Yeah. Because if this is like, if he's standing where the
farm was,
and they've already built this water purification whatever processing thing, and it's like they've already filled. This is like multiple years later, so yeah, the world could,
because he's a little bit older too.
The world could have already been taken over,
but you just hope it got diluted enough, you know, like how they say, like radiation, like, you know, when the meltdown happened in Japan,
right,
that the ocean was going to filter it or dilute it much. But hey, I'm no what was Homer's job? Nuclear person. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. This whole time I'm calling him Marcus, but his name is Ward, and Nicolas Cage's name is Nathan. Damn it. But yeah, the movie ends right there. Before we get into our thoughts about the movie, let's go to our other segment, High Star, Low Star.
High Star, Low Star. Color me entertained. 10 out of 10. Finally, someone made a Lovecraft movie that's bearable. I'm not counting Stuart Gordon's 80s, 90s masterpiece. Nick Cage is full on Cage mode in the best way. The story is done extremely well to the point that it is easy to follow, which I believe is the issue with most Lovecraft adaptations. Most people can't translate it into a cohesive film. The special effects are great, the acting is fun, and the color, the color. This is a film that even if you have no idea about Lovecraft, you can still enjoy. I hope this is the beginning of a good trend of decent Lovecraftian films coming out. Fingers are crossed.
I tried to find a bad review that said "color me bad," but apparently these reviewers aren't creative enough. I almost made it to the end. I was 1 out of 10. I was looking forward to seeing this and had just finished reading the short story this movie was based on. The travesty of a film could have been so much better. I had to laugh a few times at the poorly written script and the horrendous acting by everyone on the movie. Jeez. There was probably 20 minutes left in the movie, but I couldn't take it anymore. Dude, that's the best part.
Right?
You can't write a review and not finish it. You know what I mean? In almost every movie except Moonstruck and Raising Arizona. Oh, Nicolas Cage is a bad act. Oh, wow. This guy's totally off his rocker, except for Moonstruck and Raising Arizona. And I think this may be his worst. This might be one of his best. I don't know what this guy's talking about. I want to do. I do want to say a couple of notes for the 10 out of 10 where he says that the issues with Lovecraftian adaptations is I think it's because Lovecraftian adaptations, as far as like people who are like hardcore fans of it, have told me that it's hard to adapt something that really wants you to use, like as you read it, really wants you to use your imagination. So like, you know, all these like eldritch horrors that he talks about, it looks in your mind, in your imagination, it's all different. I mean, you have a couple of like descriptors in there, like the spaghetti monster whole situation.
Yeah.
But it all looks different in everybody's imaginations. And I think that's, your head is probably your worst enemy as far as like horror things go.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the issues with adapting his stories into film. It's hard to please everybody because everyone's going to be like, well, that's not what I imagined.
Right. Yeah, and it's hard to yeah. I guess it's also hard to portray a descent into madness by something that's just kind of like whispering in your ear, you know, like
it's hard to portray that in a visual aspect just because, like descending to madness is different for everybody.
Right.
It's a different thing. And like the way that he wrote these things, like these creatures or these events is it's an unimaginable horror.
Right.
And I think that's why, like, this is probably, this movie, Color Out of Space and Annihilation are like really great portrayals of Lovecraftian horror. And I think it's just because the American audience isn't so used to that.
Right, right.
Like the fear isn't like a monster or a being. It's more a fear of the unknown.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like, did you I kept hearing people talk about that not Leviathan, but that movie with Kristen Stewart where they're like in the ocean.
Oh, okay.
And they say like, it's not a Lovecraftian film, but it hits the right notes.
Yes, I could see that. God, it's been a minute since I've seen that. I'm like trying to.
Oh, so you saw it, right?
But yeah.
Yeah, because like, spoiler alert, I got spoiled, so I don't give a fuck. But like, apparently throughout that whole movie, you're thinking you're fighting these like other beings, but like at the end of the movie, towards the end, you actually see that there's like a larger creature in the water, right?
Right.
And so a lot of people have sort of compared that akin to Cthulhu. I definitely remember leaving that thinking that was like, I knew it wasn't. They didn't promote it as a Lovecraft book, so like but they didn't on this one either. I didn't realize this was, but like I definitely was like, oh, somebody's read, Cthulhu and like that kind of horror to write this kind of movie. Yeah. And and so I think one of the best notes of this film is that you never get to know what it is. Right? The color.
I was right.
It's never explained. You don't get any indicators of what it might be. Like the most that you probably get is when you enter Lavinia's thoughts when she's fully possessed by the color.
Yeah.
And it's just equally as terrifying, because it still doesn't give you any leads to what it might be.
Right. I like, my brain associated the color with the movie Pontypool, where people would start to go crazy from strings of words.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
And it was like it was just like they were like, we can't talk in regular sentences because we might make each other sick. And it was all of a sudden it was like, so here, like something that is so innocent and like just everywhere color, and all of a sudden color is like the enemy.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, in the apparently in the short story, the color isn't something that we're supposed to be able to comprehend.
Right, and he does say that because he was like, "It's like pink or purple. I don't know. It's a color I never saw before."
Yeah, but I believe I think the reason why, like, a lot of like other reviewers have noted that maybe they should have just done it in black and white, the color, because then we would also be sort of in that POV of the characters.
Right.
But I think one of the reasons why they use magenta is because magenta rarely ever shows up in nature.
Right. Yeah, and it stands out so much, but is so and feels so unnatural.
Yeah, because it doesn't show up on the rainbow. It's a color that's made up of different colors to produce magenta. And so I think that's one of the reasons why the filmmakers are like, well, I think if we give it a color, it has to be something that isn't rarely ever seen in nature. And they say, like, anything that's like brightly colored is like super poisonous.
Right.
So it's supposed to like also play off your like subconscious like mind that's like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good to eat. It's poisonous. Don't get near it. And so I think it was great for them to portray the color, at least in magenta, because I think it only ever shows up like in plants if you have to crossbreed it, and you have to a lot of man-made situations.
Right, but definitely like in an area like where they're at,
in New Hampshire,
in a very green, just kind of
green and
brown. It is a very different, significant color.
Yeah, it's the color of life. Brown poop. Fertilizing the soil, which grows into green.
Right, which then turns brown and falls back.
Becomes poop again. If you guys ever watched South Park, the Circle of Life song, I'm surprised that Disney did not come after them for that parody. But how did you like the character's slow descent into?
I liked it. It felt realistic. Like if you could see like the madness coming through. Like, and I have now seen enough movies and stuff that they try to do this. I felt like they did a good job. And Nicolas Cage just
come on, Cage Rage. Come on.
He, even though he's done 9,000 movies, like it seems. Every movie,
so different.
He's still different. Still like comes 100% Nick Cage to that movie.
Cage Rage.
Yeah, there's no phoning it in for him.
And I love that each person's descent was different. Nicolas Cage, his descent is like a split personality between him and his father.
Right.
Lavinia's, it just exacerbated more of her wanting to be a Wiccan or whatever. Benny just seemed more lost. Like, he was lost already when we first meet him. He didn't really look like he had any drive to do anything. He's just like, maybe, I'll probably just inherit this alpaca farm.
Yeah. The mom, you could tell by her rage that how much she missed the city.
Yeah. And just like the loss of everything, and then maybe it was like a symbolic thing when her and her child like combined, because it could be like an allegory for like the cancer that she also had.
Oh, right.
Because that's what children are.
Sometimes it's what they feel like.
No, it's just that they're not. Well, they are draining your life, but they're draining those financials also. These pockets feel less heavy than they used to. I don't have a kid. Maybe I'll adopt a dog one day. I resign. I give up on dating. I'm just gonna get a dog. I'm so sad. But yeah. So this movie, it feels like a great representation of what Lovecraftian horror is. I think because we've like at this obviously at this point in time of like media, like movie media, horror, it's hard to create something new.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like a mass killer is, you know, obviously it's scary because it's very realistic, but it's also like, well, you know, I have a gun, so
I,
like I'm shooting first and asking questions later. Like, do you remember? I don't want to say this in a lighthearted fashion, but do you remember during that time? I think it was like 2016, where people were dressing up as scary clowns and all that stuff. But then I guess it all really came to a stop when one pranker got shot.
Right.
And I was like, listen, you can't like run at people with machetes and like, oh, it's just a prank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something real is going to happen, right? And so I think there's also been this huge research, the huge wave of slow burn horror films. That's also nice. So now I think if like a director and a writer can pull it off, I really hope to see like these series of horror films that's more about fearing the unknown, because I think a lot of people have those obvious fears. Like I know a lot of people that like, oh, I don't like to go deep in the ocean.
Right, and some of that like is just an unexplained fear. Like, yeah, I'm scared to death of the dark or whatever, and you don't know why. And I love that it's
a very like it's like an instinct to be scared of it.
Right.
You know, I remember here in Las Vegas, like if you drive an hour out of Las Vegas, there's so many different like landmarks or like little natural landmarks that you can hit. Right, like, but like here we have a dry lake bed.
Yeah.
And I went out there one time for like a photo shoot, but I got there a little bit early just to like, you know, check it out and all that stuff. It's kind of weird to be in there because I feel like I shouldn't be there because there's not a ramp to get on there. But it's so weird when you're in such a large open space, and like it's funny because there's like a highway like half a mile away, but then when you get half a mile away and you're surrounded by nothing, it's like dead quiet, and it's kind of freaky. Mm-hmm. Right? And you like obviously you could see anything coming your way, but it's also just like another unknown thing. Like I was like, why do I feel so bothered right now? Because I was there by myself at that time. And I was like, this is so like weird. And I could understand people being scared of the water because it's like, especially in the ocean.
Yeah. It's
hard to open your eyes if you don't have goggles on, so you can't see anything. And you're just floating. You never know what's going to come up. You know, I keep seeing those CGs of like people that are in the ocean, and out of the darkness comes like this huge thing. And you're like, holy fuck.
Right, yeah. And you don't know. So even like that little piece of seaweed that touches your foot, it's for half a second in your head, that could be that like a creature, kraken. Yeah, the creature from the Black Lagoon reaching up for you.
Swamp thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I hope they really are going to be able to create a trilogy where it more explores the horrors of the unknown, and hopefully they can display it the same way they did in this movie, and also as they did in Annihilation. Annihilation is an amazing sci-fi movie if you guys haven't seen it yet.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it.
and I like it's like we said, like the unknown. They did a good job. Like even though it apparently came from space. Mm-hmm. They still did a good job making it something scary that wasn't an alien.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we get that a lot. It's, something came from space, and it's a space virus. It's a space alien. It's, you know, like a venom symbiote, you know, kind of thing. And here it was like, it's light and color, and why is that scary? And how does that do terrible things?
Because like as far as human history has recorded, we as a species have always fought against unknown things.
Right.
You know, most of the time, if you look through history, it's been bad. You know, that's how racism came about. Like the fear of the unknown, and I think it's just one of those great genres that can come out to really play on like an audience in a more psychological manner, you know. And it's just, yeah, that's just, it feels more raw.
Right. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're coming up to our hour. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our other months. We have holiday themed months.
We have a whole Nick Cage month.
He has so many. We could have a whole year of just Nick Cage.
Right.
I was like, I love Nick Cage, but I don't know if I could do a whole year.
We could try it.
We need to space out the Cage rage, you know? But yeah, make sure to check that out. But this is the first time you guys are joining us. Welcome. Welcome. We love underrated films. We hope you do too. But we do have a scoring system which goes by Stream It, DVD It, Blu-ray It, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at?
Yeah, I love this movie. I feel like only watching it once that there was so much that I missed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the second, third time just in the near future. So, Blu-ray I'm sure there's, it's got Nick Cage. It's got to have some commentary, kind of, you know, goofs,
behind the scenes. Like yeah. A lot of bloopers. I could see this. I'd have this on Blu-ray, and I could see it having a lot of things to say about the content that they're doing, that they're trying to portray, the process of trying to adapt it into a visual format, you know. And I think that's something that, like, you know, if they continue to do this unknown horror genre, that like a lot of people can kind of, you know, learn from. Right. And if you
said that they were at one point talking about it being a trilogy, I would definitely Ultimate box set this as a trilogy. Yeah, this being the first of three, that would be fantastic.
Or like, even if it's like a series of like, just not even just a trilogy, but the start of like a hopeful series of just unknown horrors, because there's, yeah, he has so much books, you know.
Right. I wish I'd like to read more.
I know, my hand hurts. My hand hurts when I read books. You know, it's funny. I was talking to one of our friends. Her name is Sarah. She loves to read books, right? And at one point, I was telling her, because I actually do like to read, especially right now at the job that I currently have. I have a lot of downtime. And I was talking to her. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll get a Kindle." She's like, "Ugh, fucking poser." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You have to feel the books. You have to feel the turn of the page." Right. And I was like, "You're just a snob."
Don't you swipe on a Kindle to turn the page?
Yeah, you just swipe, you know? It's backlit.
I think I have a Kindle that I've never used. If you want one,
You're like, I should read more, but
I won it as like a prize for something.
For work?
For at work, yes. I can't remember what we were doing, but for something I won.
Well, if you and T and S don't want it, I could stand to read more.
Figure out where it's at.
Colby's a low-key hoarder.
I am totally.
I know. I'm trying to declutter my home right now, and I'm just like, yeah, I feel so weird about donating stuff. Which I like. Right now, I got a whole bunch of clothes I should probably donate, because I haven't even seen them in years.
Right.
I would love to be a person that just lives like a very minimalistic lifestyle, but once you have a hobby like Magic the Gathering, it's hard to keep cards in boxes.
Yeah, and I collect like 9,000 different things, so there's no hope for me.
I know. See, that's why I have to get into a relationship, because she'd be like, "You don't have money for that anymore. You have to pay for dates." What about my anniversary gift?
It's the one good thing about moving is like, I'm like, I'm not moving all this crap. Let's just get rid of like all this stuff that I haven't looked at in
years,
in 5 years.
All right, yeah.
And then you move and start fresh, and you're like, oh wow, I have so much room.
Colby has a second room.
These places.
He has a second room that he uses as an office, and he has a closet in there. But he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't go in there." That is extra storage.
It is 100% extra storage.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our links down below. We have our Amazon affiliate links where me and Kobe, once we reach a certain goal, will go Canadian tux style to a Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, you know it. Jean jacket. And of course, we've got our socials. We want you to follow us, please.
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest way to keep track of us and see when new stuff drops. And yeah, even though we're pretty consistent doing it every week, we've been dropping about 50 episodes a year, so we're pretty consistent on the week to week.
All right. One of these days, one of you guys are just going to be like, oh my God, we got to listen to all of their episodes.
Right?
So we apologize for those early episodes.
But yeah, they follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, and show us some love and give us some suggestions.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music for Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.